front page right here says use simple interest to find an ending balance. So when you did all this, using this simple interest formula helps you to find what? Interest only. So you need to add your principal amount to find the ending balance. So for number 1, what was your answer? Any? Any, what was your answer?
What?
Yeah, because I know you did it right.
No.
Yeah?
No.
I saw it yesterday.
Okay. Wait, no, what the heck? Sorry, wrong one. I
think it was like around 38,000.
192.
Okay. There you go. All right. Number 2, Mohini, what did you get?
327.60.
Okay. Any of these that you don't agree with, let me know. Number 3, Sophia?
Oh, I didn't do it. 4,400.
Okay. Any? 4,480. No decimals? No? Okay. Thank you. Number 4, Kira? Okay, so remember, ending balance. So your ending balance has to be more than the 20,000. So I think what you did was you just found the I. Alright, so let's take up this one. Okay, I equals PRT. So your principal amount was the 20,600. R, the rate was. Oh, wait. I rushed this through the question. I didn't read my question. Can I borrow someone's whiteout again? Thank you. I need to remember to get that new whiteout. Yes, I do. Good job. I'll put it here first. Okay, so 20,600. That was how much that car was worth. But you put a down payment of 3,000 on it. So 20,600 minus 3,000. Whoops, 20,600 minus 3,000. That means your principal that you are paying interest on is only 17,600. Okay. The rate 0.08%, 8 divided by 100, and then for how long? 2 years. So when you multiply those, you get 2,816. All right, but this is just how much interest you've paid over the 2 years. See, I equals that, so it's interest. How do we calculate amount at the end? Plus the 3,000 plus your principal. So interest plus principal gives you that. So plus 20,600. That means at the end, how much did you pay for that car? 23,416. Okay. So this is a little tricky. Someone was asking me, do I add that 3,000 or do I add this? You just add this. The down payment, you already considered it in right here for your principal. So when you want a final amount, you would just add this. If you added another 3,000, you would have doubled added that 3,000. Okay. And also, you can think logically. So for example, when Kira told me around like 5,000, I know that's not my ending balance because my principal itself is already 20,000. So for my final, it needs to be more than that. Okay, so number 5 was similar. Jasmine, what did you get? 21,020. Okay, is that Petro? Is that what you got? Because you have a frown face on. Is this what you got? You didn't do it? Oh, Dikshan, did you get that? Okay. And if you think about it, you might be like, whoa, that's a lot. Did I do it right? Well, remember, 6% for 9 years. So yes, it does add up for 9 years.
That's how much you end at the end of 9 years.
Paying. Yeah. So, oh, by the way, whenever you do a down payment, it would be for like and when we talk about down payment, are we talking about an investment or a loan? Loan. Okay, you only pay down a loan. You don't pay down an investment. Okay, so whenever you see down payment, we're referring to a loan that you're borrowing out from a friend, from a bank, from your parents, things like that. All right, so how much was paid at the end of? Sorry. I think I meant how much interest was paid. I meant to say how much interest was paid at the end of 9 years. So you would do the so basically with this one, I is A minus P, which is 21,020, take away 14,000. So yes, over those 9 years, you paid $7,000.20. So let's say this was a cost of a motorcycle. You paid for half of a motorcycle with interest. Yeah, reality of life. Yeah, and honestly, with the amount of interest I pay on my mortgage each year, I can afford a car. that's how life works. Well, but then if you think of it, you need a place to live. You don't have much choice. If you rent, it's you don't like you're helping somebody else pay their mortgage. So at least at the end of 30 years, I know I own something. I own a house after 30 years. All right, number 6. All right, let's do number 6 together really quickly. So again, I equals PRT. Since these are all simple interest questions, with a down payment of 38,000. So, tell me a car that's worth 43,000. Huh? No idea. Second, well, it's not that expensive. 43,000, you could probably afford a new car. So, what car do you think it costs you 43,000? So let's just say 14,000, probably like a motorcycle. 20,600, a Toyota, and then 43,000. What car do you think you could get? Nissan. Not quite a BMW, but I was like maybe a Ford. Lexus, yeah, possible. Yeah, maybe a Lexus. Okay, so just wanted to give you guys a overview of the economy. Alright, so this Lexus that Mohini wants to get. Oh, what car do you want then? You can't afford that with that price. What about you, Annie?
BMW X6.
Okay, well, it will be more than that as well. Okay. so we'll just say, we'll say Yusuf wants a Lexus. Okay. So again, take off that down payment. So you're just getting a loan for $40,000. Okay. Your rate is 4.8%. So 0.048. Oh, sorry. Here. 4.8 divided by 100, you get that. Right. And then you're gonna just borrow the money for 2 years. So you're saying, I want to pay it off in 2 years. Okay. Let's see. Times 2 times 40,000. So $3,840. Okay, so that's the interest. How much was paid at the end? So principal plus interest. Principal was 43,800 plus the interest So at the end of 2 years, that Lexus cost you 47,640, which is not too bad. Okay, so take a look at this one and this one.
Only 60. Oh.
Yeah. So why was there such a big difference? Why this one I had to pay $7,000 in interest for a 14,000 motorcycle, and this one I only paid 3,800 for a 43,000 Lexus.
There's a higher interest on the first one for a longer period of time.
Yeah. So interest rate, yeah, this one was higher, and also, as Petro said, longer. So this person, Petro, he needed 9 years to pay off that motorcycle. Whereas Yusuf, he only took 2 years to pay it off. So that's why you see the big difference. Yeah, so you see the big difference. The timing really makes a big difference for it, and in reality, that's also true. The longer term, usually you have to pay for a higher interest because they would be like, well, I'm lending you my money for a longer time. I need to get more collateral, right? So keep that in mind in the future. When you buy your first car, remember the math that Ms. Ching taught you. Okay. Your salesperson will tell you otherwise, but trust Ms. Ching more than the salesperson. Okay, this one right here, I just wanted to start it off with you guys. Principal is 7,400. What's your rate right here? 10.5%.
0.105.
Good. When you divide it by 100, it's 0.105, not 0.0105.
Yeah.
Okay, so you wish if it was 0.0105. Okay, so when in doubt, just divide the rate by 100. A quarter of a year. What is quarter of a year? 2 months? Quarter. We have 12 months in a year, so it's not 2 months. 0.25. Yes, so you do have to change it to a decimal as well. So quarter of a year is 0.25.
What if I just kept the fraction?
Oh, yeah, you could.
Okay.
So if you kept it as 1/4, then when you do your calculation on the calculator, you would do 7,400 times 0.105 times 1 divided by 4. Yeah, so that's the same thing, but otherwise change it to a decimal, you get that. Okay, and then see this one, even sweeter. So you were borrowing money to buy
Plus 7,400.
what's something that costs 7,000?
The wait.
A bike.
No.
What kind of bike do you buy that 7? Rent?
Some of them are really cheap.
Or a used motorcycle. Yeah, a used motorcycle. Okay, and then but you only wanted to look cool for a few months. Oh, by the way, quarter of a year. How many months is that? 3 months. Yes. Yes. Right. I know some people would think 2 or 4. Remember, a quarter of a year means 3 months. All right. So he only wanted to look cool for 3 months, so he rented a motorcycle and he paid $194. Okay. Okay. This right here. So find the total value of the investment after the given time. So again, for this one, I'm gonna just so investment / loan. All right, because as I said, some of them I said down payment, and it doesn't make sense for an investment to have a down payment. No, it doesn't make a difference. It doesn't make a difference with your answers. It's just logically it doesn't make sense.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, number 11. Kira, what did you get?
8,973.56.
Sorry? Oh, 0.56. Okay. Okay. Do we like her answer? Good. Okay. Number 12. Antonia?
I got 1,151.45.
0.35? Oh, 44. I was way off. 334. Okay. Oh, okay. We'll take up number 15 because actually here I'll take up this one then because Annie said she got this one wrong. Okay. So the word compound tells you that we should use this formula instead. Okay. So let's see what happened. So 18,000 is your principal. Good. 1 plus I. So for I, it's divided by biweekly means 26. Biweekly means every 2 weeks. So 0.09 divided by 26, you get
that's the part I got wrong.
0.00346. Again, take a few decimal places.
But it doesn't repeat though.
Still try to take at least 4 decimal places. Oh, Michaela, welcome back.
All of those.
Good. Okay, so 0.00346, and then the n is 6 years. What do I have to do to the 6? Times 26. Remember, if you're dividing by 26, you're timesing by 26. So 156 paychecks. Okay. So do this all in the calculator. You can just type it off if you want. 18,000 bracket 1 plus 0.00346 close the bracket to the exponent 156. You get 30,851 point. Round this. What should I round this to? 96 because it's money. So money always 2 decimal place. Okay. So this is this a good investment? No?
I don't know.
Yes. I think so. I would love to have this. So if you put in 18,000 in the bank and the bank pays you 9% compounded bi-weekly for 6 years, at the end of 6 years, you'll get this much. So almost double your investment. If you just go to a bank and a savings account, they're not going to pay you this much. So what banks do to offer a higher interest rate? It could be a bond. You can buy a bond or GIC. Right? Or even the stock market. It may be an investment, like a stock investment. So stock investment. Who thinks they will buy stocks in the future? One day. Stock. Not socks, stocks. Okay? Stock market. Yeah, so do you think it will be a guaranteed win? No. You can either make money or you can lose money. Okay? So for a 9% return, you're looking at probably a high risk portfolio, a high risk investment. Okay? Let's say I'm not for high risk. I love my money. I don't want to lose it. Then there's something called bonds or GIC, where they also give you a high interest. Not all the way to 9%, maybe like 5%. Okay, but that's guaranteed, no loss. Okay, so now here you're thinking, what's the trick? Guaranteed guarantee the win. All right. Well, that 18,000 that you put in for 6 years, you don't get to touch it. Yeah. So it's like you give that bank that money and say, I'm not going to touch it for 6 years. At the end of 6 years, you're going to pay me back. You're going to pay me all at once. Okay? I'm lending you the money for 6 years. So let's say after 5 years and 11 months, Mohini, you broke your leg and you need that money. All right? And you went to the bank and just took out $100 for a TTC pass or something, because you can't walk to work anymore. You can't walk to school. All right. What is the bank gonna pay you at the end of 6 years? Bella? Nothing, because you broke the rule. Yeah. So even if you take a penny out of that your investment within that 6 years, they don't pay you anything because you broke the rule. Yeah, so that's the trick with GIC. Okay, so they do pay you higher interest, but you have to know that I won't touch it. If you will touch it, then that's not for you, because then you just lended the money for free. Okay, and then if you always need to take money in and out, then a regular bank account is more suited for you. Okay, 15. Let's try this one. $1,240 at 8% compounded monthly for 2 years with $240 down. So let's say Brian, he wants a new computer system, a gaming system. Yeah. He really wants to play Fortnite, but he can't afford it. So Brian, you're gonna go to your parents and borrow money from them. And because they don't want you to play Fortnite, they're going to charge you interest. I'm just making an example. What do you play now? Basketball for free. Okay, so $1,240. So Brian only has $240. So he needs to borrow $1,000 from his parents. Okay. Wow, your parents are so nice to you. They charge you 8%. Is that high or low? That's high. Okay, divided by 12. Oh, wait, don't go yet.
We're requesting all classes scheduled for music assembly block C to come down to the cafeteria. Teachers, please be mindful and support your classes and be with them for the whole duration of the assembly. And please ensure that everyone follows the seating plan and settles in promptly. Enjoy the show.
All right, wait. So the exponent 24 times 1,000. So $1,172.89. So does that mean at the end Brian paid $1,172 for that gaming system? No. How much did he pay at the end overall? What does he have to add? Not the principal. His down payment. Because he paid a down payment, that $240. So if you add on that $240, it means that he paid $1,412.89 for that gaming system. How much interest was paid then? How much interest did he pay his parents? So interest, remember, it's still the same formula. Amount, subtract principal. So don't worry about down payment. Don't worry about any of the different numbers. Formula stays the same. So 1412.89. Take away the original price. That means his parents charged him $172.89 for the 2 years. That sounds reasonable. Yeah.
Wait, wouldn't it be you subtract 1,000 from 1,172. The down payment was already paid, and then you're charging the interest.
Exactly, yeah. So if you use this, take away this, you'll get the same amount. Yeah. Okay. So where are we sitting for the assembly? So let me. Okay. So number 17. Notice the principal amount is the same for both. Interest rate is same for both. Year is the same. What's the only difference in number 17 and 18?
Time period.
Time period. So not time period. Time period is 2.
How compounded is
Compounding period. So when you on the test, if you just say the time period, it's wrong. Time period is the same as 2 years, but the compounding period. All right. So this one is compounded semi-annually, meaning they pay you. Meaning the interest rate is every 6 months. This one is compounded quarterly, which means it's every 3 months. Okay, so when you do the calculation at the end, you have these two values. Number 17 and number 18, which is a better choice then? Who says number 17 is a better choice? Who says 18 is a better choice? Okay, so what's tricky with this question is I never specified if this was an investment or a loan, right? So if this was a loan that you're taking out, which one would be the better one then? 17. If I said this was an investment where I'm putting the money in a savings account with the bank, then which one would be the better investment? 18. Yeah, so it depends. If this is a loan, if it's a loan, then 17 is better because you pay less. If it was an investment, then number 18 would have been better. Okay, so I want you guys to know the difference between the two, and on the test, if I ask something like this, you won't get tricked. Oh yeah, assignment. See, you were paying attention. Good. Okay, number 19, with a $2,000 down payment, what did you get for the final answer? Okay, let's see. Brianna, what did you get for 19? Shh, Annie, I can't even hear her. 138 cents. Okay, and Brianna, can you give number 20 as well?
15,594.65.
Okay, so difference between 19 and 20. So same amount, same principal, lower interest rate. This is, and then both are for semi-annually for 4 years. Okay, so looking at this, let's say this is so for this question, how do I know if this is a loan or investment?
loan for the down payment.
Good. Okay, good. You were paying attention. So because there's this down payment right here, I know I'm talking about a loan. So I know this is a loan. So you're borrowing money. So if you're borrowing money, which one is the better deal? Number 20, because at the end, you end up paying less. Okay, so why was it less? Because of the interest. That's right. So even though this one I put a down payment down, but it wasn't enough to offset the higher interest in here. So sometimes, normally paying a down payment will lower the interest rate, but lower the overall interest, but rate is a bigger factor. Okay, normally. Okay. How much interest do you save with the initial down payment? Okay, so that means if you were to do this question with no down payment, so at the 8.8%, so the amount, so this one is no down, and this one is with a $2,000 down. All right, if it's no down, let me see what we get. 12,700 times 1 plus 0.088 divided by 2 to the power of 8. You get 17,922.88. Okay, so if you want to find out with no down and a down payment how much you save, you would subtract those two. So you would save roughly about $800. Okay. And I think it's a, so would you put down a down payment then if you save 800? Yeah. All right, because you're only putting down a $2,000 down payment and you save yourself $800. So it's the ratio is pretty good. Okay. So the last few questions, I really wanted you guys to pay attention to the compounding period, how what difference it makes, down payment, what difference it makes, and the interest rate, what difference it makes. Okay, and depending if it's a loan or an investment, your way of thinking should be a little different. Okay, so that's the lesson on simple interest, compound interest. We're going to shift our attention to coding on paper. Thank you. Yeah. It's not too bad.
Is this gonna be on the Creo?
Yeah, that's why we're teaching it. Okay, but obviously, what course do you think you'll learn actual coding in? Tech, computer science, right? So why are they doing it in math? I don't know. I want to ask that question too, but the government.
I hate the government.
Language, any. Okay, so that's why what I'm teaching you guys in here is the logic behind it, the common sense in the math, in the behind the coding program. We're not gonna actually program into Scratch or Python or Java. No, we're not doing those. Those is what you'll actually do in a computer science class, in a tech class. The logic. Yeah. Okay. So
The other one. The other one.
what? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so in previous chapters we also talked about coding. So this is another type of coding program. Okay, so for example right here, this is a finance type of coding question. So you can see at the beginning, we will set up our variables. So instead of saying X, Y, Z, since we are using a computer program, we can be creative with our variables. So instead of X, Y, Z, we use words. We can use words in a computer program. So let income, set it to 0 first because we need to give it a number to start off. Computer doesn't know that it's a variable, so when we do this, set income to 0, they know that, okay, now income is a variable. So these are basically our X, Y, and Z that we've been working on. And then you're going to ask the computer to ask the user the question, what is your total monthly income? And then you would type in something. So for example, I type in 50,000. Okay, so then it will set that 50,000 to the variable income. What is your total monthly expense? And then the user, you, will type in monthly expense 2,000, for example. Oh, sorry, this is monthly, right? So let's say your monthly income is 2,000, and then here monthly expense is 1,000. Okay, so then the computer. This is the part where the computer will do the work. If income minus expense is greater than 0, what does that mean? If what you take home is bigger than the expense you spend,
You're going for
Savings.
you have savings. You get through the month. Okay, so you give that amount as savings. Okay, and then it will say very happily, you saved this much this month. Okay, and then notice right here, shh, ladies, notice right here, the output, you saved saving this much. If you read that sentence, it doesn't make sense, right? You saved savings this much. But remember, saving was a variable. So it did the math for you. 2,000 subtract 1,000. So savings is actually just a number. So when it says it, it will say you saved $1,000 this month.
what does join mean?
Oh, join. It's joining this sentence with this sentence with this sentence. It's part of the computer program. Don't worry about it. As I said, like you're just trying to learn the logic behind this program. If you type this up in Java, it's gonna give you error for every single line. So, okay. And then notice right here, instead of typing everything all over again, there's this statement: if and else. Okay, this is something that they would ask you on EQAL, if else. So think logically. If your income is not greater than your expense, what could that mean? You're in debt, you lose money, or break even. Good. So if you're not making more than you spend, it would have to mean you're either spending more than you make, or you break even. That's why under this else right here, you have another if else statement. Okay. So as Pedro was saying, this one, if income minus expense is 0, it means you just made it. You break even. You don't make any money. You're not in debt. You just made it through this month. So next month, think better before you buy that luxury brand name clothes. Okay, and then so if it's not you made money, if it's not break even, then what does that mean? It means you're in deficit. Okay, so that's why deficit, expense minus income, and you set that to right there, and then it will say to you, you were short this much this month. Okay, so again, this is very important. I might ask you on the assignment, what is the output? Your output is not you were short deficit this month. It will actually be a number because it did the math for you right here. You were short $5 this month, for example. Okay, so if else, that's one of the most important program that we learned in grade 9. Okay, so let's see an example. So for example, right here, let's say we actually typed it up with all the codes and everything. Our computer program works when we press F1. If your total monthly income is 2,150 and your expense was this, 2,365, what do you think it will say? What would the output be? Oh yeah. Because I printed it out for you guys. It's a Friday. Hey.
It's Friday?
Yeah. Okay, so did you overspend or did you underspend or overspend? So if you overspend, looking through this, which part of the program is it going to go through? Which part of your program? 1, 2, or 3? If you overspend. 3, right here. So what would your output statement be if it's going to go through here?
You were short 250.
This month, right. Okay, so again, notice it didn't say you were short deficit this month. It did the math for you, and it gave you a number. Okay, and where did this dollar sign come from? Was the computer smart enough to know to put a dollar sign in front? Where did it come from? Yeah, so you see right here, you were telling it to say it with the dollar sign. This right here. Okay, so whatever you type in for it to say, it will say exactly that. If you type in to say you are dumb, it will say that. Okay, I'm talking about the computer. Okay, so okay, let me see what there was. Okay. Okay, so how would we modify the code then for number 2 of the question? Suppose you wanted to buy a new video game that costs $90. What code would you add to the program to output a statement that says whether you can afford it or not? Okay, so you need to input another statement to your program. You want to buy a $90 game. So would you put it in section 1 here, section 2 here, or section 3 here? Where would you put that to see if you can afford a $90 game? Section 1, section 2, or section 3? Why?
Because it says say your savings. Wait, what the? What? You can do savings. You don't see how much you have.
Yeah, so the main priority is that your income has to be bigger than your expense for you to even consider buying that $90 game, right? So yes, I would put it in like right here, under section 1. And what would your code be? I want to see if I can buy a $90 game.
If savings is greater than or equal to 90, then yes, you can afford this game.
Yeah.
No, you cannot afford the game.
That's right. So the if and else that we were talking about. So you would add in a sub if and else in section 1. If savings is greater or equal to 90, then yes, that means you can afford it. I don't have to do another statement that says if savings is less than 90, because if it's not this, then it has to be that. So then you would say else, no, you cannot afford it. Stop dreaming.
Why is it so mean to you?
You can make it very nice. You can say it in a much nicer way because it's your program. So you can say, no, you're just a little short by $89. So if you start eating bread only for the rest of the month, then you can afford it. Oh yeah. So your job is not paying you enough. You might need a second job. Right. Okay. Okay. Last one. Last example. So okay. So we did talk about that already. Okay. So your homework for this weekend. Your homework for this weekend is just this right here. This page. I know we don't have enough time in class for you to actually try some of these, but today's lesson is mainly on the if and else programming. So don't forget to set variables. So answers are attached. So if any of those questions you don't understand, take a look at the answers. I think the answers is self-explanatory. Once you see it, you should be able to understand. So don't forget the answers are attached to the back. I will do homework check on Monday. Okay, I don't need it to be like again full sentence with programming codes. I want the general idea. Okay, so if you guys can do some type of general ideas while answering these questions, that's what I'm looking for in the homework check on Monday. All right, so that's it. Yeah. So just wait for the bell before we go.